Welcome back to the Nintendo Wiretap. My name is Amiibo Jason, and today I want to talk about something near and dear to my heart. Something that some people are celebrating, some people are upset about, myself included, and that is the potential death of E3. So, without further ado, let's take a look. Alright, so for those of you who don't know, a few days ago, the ESA, or the Entertainment Software Association, started contacting their vendors letting them know that E3 2022 was canceled. And not just canceled in person like it has been for a few years, I mean canceled entirely. No digital event, no anything. This is the first time in, I can't even tell you how long, that E3 has not occurred in any way, shape, or form. And some people online are happy about this for whatever reason. They're not a fan of E3, not a fan of the path E3 has gone down in the past. I mean, me personally, my personal information got leaked from E3 a few years back, so not necessarily the best track record, but for me, it's bittersweet. And I know we're in 2022, Nintendo does Nintendo Directs, and they're fantastic. We have Sony, who completely exited E3 a few years back. So, is there really a purpose for E3 to exist? And I say yes. So the idea of an E3 not happening anymore does make me sad to a certain degree. But to really understand my opinions on E3, and I'm sure many of your feelings on E3, we really have to go back to our childhoods. I remember looking forward to the week of E3 like it was a holiday. It was just a time for me to forget everything else. Work, school, all that mattered for that week was video games. The latest, the greatest, new announcements. Just, it's fantastic. And Nintendo, on top of many other companies, but Nintendo specifically, did an amazing job at decorating their booth, making it immersive and beautiful and just outright stunning. Now, I got to go to my first E3 back in 2015, and it was a sight to behold, and I have gone back every year since until it was canceled. I got to see Breath of the Wild, an amazing booth tour, by the way, of Breath of the Wild, where the entire show floor looked like Hyrule Field. It was breathtaking. The next year, we had Super Mario Odyssey, which was just amazing. It was New Donk City, and everything was lit up, and there was statues everywhere, and people surrounding everything. It was magical. There was Luigi's Mansion one year. My first year, back in 2015, they had a Star Fox Zero cockpit that you could go into and play the game. It was immersive, it was fun, it was just really memorable. And Nintendo really knew how to take care and take their time in building something that would be memorable not just for the people at the show, but amazing for people just seeing photos and videos of it on TV or online. It was really neat. And again, I think this is one of the main reasons why I'm having such a hard time with the potential death of E3. It represents something. It represents just a fantastic time in my life where video games were the biggest thing I had to look forward to. And again, yes, I understand in 2022, it's a digital world. Do we really need events like this anymore? And me personally, again, I think we do. I think that despite having that online presence, there's something just magical about having something physical, having something that you can see and touch and experience with groups of people. Now, what does this mean for this year, and what does this mean for E3 going forward? So let's talk this year first. This year, I would imagine Nintendo is going to do a Nintendo Direct, as they typically would, so sometime in June. I would imagine the same thing for Sony and Microsoft and any of the third parties. Again, we are in a place right now where you don't really need an event like this to unveil your latest news. And you have Summer Games Fest, which is something that we've had for the past few years, which might pick up the slack for E3 this year. Now, going forward, E3 is likely going to come back, at least according to the ESA. They're saying that they plan on coming back in 2023 with a reinvigorated showcase that celebrates new and exciting video game and industry innovations, whatever that means. But however it's going to come back, I'm sure it's not going to be what it used to be. An in-person event that was packed to the brim with gamers and journalists and just filled with video game goodness. But personally, even though the ESA is saying they're coming back, I have my doubts. E3 has notoriously suffered blows from a financial standpoint for a few of the past years. So if E3 does in fact come back in 2023, I'm not expecting it to be anything like it used to be. But either way, I'm excited for it. I truly hope we do see a return to E3 in some form, hopefully in person. I definitely miss seeing my friends and seeing other people in the video game industry and really just making connections and having a good time, but I'm not holding my breath. But that being said, I'm curious your thoughts about the potential death of E3, at least for 2022. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below, and if you don't really have an opinion on it, let me know your favorite E3 memory from the past few years. I have many of them. Alright folks, that's going to do it for today's Nintendo Wiretap. I'll be back soon with even more of my takes on the latest Nintendo news, and until then, stay wired in. Bye guys.